especially at the beginning, when
Yeah.
it's like they're looking for like a foothold somewhere, and I'm looking at it going like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even understand what directory I'm in here. Like,
It's memorization, but it's also like I remember it's like it's overwhelming the text itself. It's like your brain cannot quite parse it.
yeah,
Like you look at it, and it's like what's going on? Like it's like and then but once you start practicing, it become almost like the second nature and like almost the muscle memory. But you need to be practicing, and once you're practicing, there will be a moment where something like almost click, and then it's like, oh yeah, this makes sense.
yeah,
And it just you kind of become like it's the same. Like we're not like used to UIs. We learn how to use them, and we got trained by like big companies in certain ideas of how to navigate UI, where to expect certain things to be. So that was learned.
yeah. I think my moment of surrender today was just realizing like multiple times every week I find myself staring at this black screen, and I might as well start to figure it out.
This is cool. Let's actually do this here. Completely black. So cool. Check it out. Wow. This is pure joy.
Whoa.
Although I have a comment to make on the thing about usability, which is like maybe not that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened so much in the space of terminals. So I think there are some terminals that are trying to go into that realm of usability, but definitely this is a problem that Emacs also has. For example, a system, right? Like knowing exactly where it's a bit better because it has better search capabilities, but it's full of commands. That's why it's good. That's why it's great. So some people are also like questioning like that one of the faults of Emacs is that the design of it's that in usability experience, it's that it's too much memorization versus recall, which is how it's called. Meaning there are some ways of adding to Emacs like more menu style that are not graphical in a way. But you start like interacting with it and it starts showing you what's available. Like in terminal, the easiest way to do that is like having a great completion companion, basically.
Mm-hmm. But
right? Because you start typing something and it can also.
but
like,
the strength of that's a weakness that you might need to remember certain things and like function names or whatever functionality you want to call by name.
Mhm.
But the benefit of that no matter what you want to do with the system, there's a single point of entry that is unified,
Yeah.
and which is just text. And especially today with LLM that generate and parse text avidly, having this point of entry and exit through basically any application you can imagine in your machine is very powerful because it allows for ultimate control and automation. And that unified interface is the beauty of it. So because the buttons, it's all different designs, something broken, this button is not implemented. But when you have a unified interface for your entire operating system, like anything that could be done with the computer can be done through this interface, that's cool.
Yeah, just to clarify, the recall things like how do you search for something that you know what it should be doing, but you don't know the name? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can just use the text. It's fine, and you are back into square one and having the full flexibility. But it's lacking the exploratory part, right, in a way. So you need to make.
And there are ways to aid it.
Yeah.
You can like browse what function available, then you get the manuals because the system is self-documenting. Emacs is a self-documenting editor. Same here, it's a self-documenting. So every command has a man page, right? And as long as you remember man and like the command you want, but let's say you don't remember the command, if you remember what commands are, so in my case, if I do ls user bin, this is all the commands I have on the system that are built in. This rather large list. But on any of this command, I can call a man page. For example, what is this command called? Cow. Let's see. I just saw it.
I saw a bison.
Yeah, bison. Bison. I think it's a
Caffeinated.
syntax tree parser.
It's
Let's see
for
what's bison.
parsers, yeah. So that's
So,
a very advanced thing.
If I do man,
No.
by, how is it spelled?
BISON. It flew by, so I'm not sure. That's actually what I saw.
It's probably bison because it's bison and some other.
I don't know. Here I see sad, for example. I do man sad. So and that tell me what it is. Sad is a stream editor. The sub-utility reads a specific file and the standard output. When the file is specified and defined. Sure, it's technical, so it's like not easy to understand. but nonetheless is there. And right now we have a luxury of internet. So, you know, on the internet you can also have a list and you sort of, this is a discovery mechanism. But at the end of the day, you sort of, for efficient flow, you need to remember it. By the way, I'm pressing Command L to clear everything. You can also type, if you have a bunch of stuff, what was my LS? If you have a bunch of stuff, you can type clear. It's clear there. Especially at the beginning, I found it very helpful because it's a lot of text on the screen really makes me like agitated and intimidated.
Nice.
Quiz for Gandala.
Exam.
This is like Gandala targeted quiz.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exam time.
Uh-oh.
Just study.
What does this command do
It changes your directory,
about this?
lists your files.
Which one we look at? I mean, oh, here.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck.
Exactly.
You're the root user? No, that's, like bypass? Is it like a bypass thing?
Okay, let's say I forget the command pages on that. Let's see if you can make sense of it.
File pattern searcher?
Yeah, what does it mean in simple words?
Is it like you're looking for, I thought that was the other thing. Is it like you're looking for specific, like, names
Where?
in your directory?
No, that's find command.
Any of the
Across your computer?
No, that's find command. Search for file names.
Grab,
It's close.
oh, wait, it says the
You have
rest
the
of it.
description.
Yeah. The grep utility searches any given input files. Oh, within a file. Okay.
For what?
Lines that match one or more patterns.
Yeah, for text.
Huh?
For text.
Yeah, so within the file for a specific.
Marzipan has a nice poster saying that, you know, grep, wherever the name, global, regular expression, search and print. But what it really means is like, search this shit quickly.
Who remembers this? Who remember this command? It was mentioned during some of the lectures. But
Like you SSH into a remote machine.
yeah, and so this is the topic for today, and I want to show you how to basically do anything that you can do on your own machine, but do it with the remote machine. And I think this is also an ultimate power of command line interface because it provides this utility, and this utility in the modern world is pretty ubiquitous because any computer have this utility pretty much installed by default. It's the cloud computer, or you can even enable it on your own machine if you need to control, like let's say your machine in like a different corner of your apartment or something like that. I want to do it with the example of, let me just show you the basic syntax. So I have my machine. Here I have this website called CoderCat.xyz. It has a web server. This is how it's able to serve this page. But it's just a Linux computer with Ubuntu installed in it in the data center in San Francisco. So if I come here, we also look at this command. Remember that ping? So if I do ping on this CoderCat.xyz, it shows me that the reply is 35 milliseconds. This is how long does it take the signal to go there and back. And what it's also showing me, it's actually showing me the IP address that was resolved from this domain name. So if I grab this IP address, could probably use the domain name. I just want to show you that the concrete thing. This IP, by the way, never changed because the provider who in this data center, they give you what's called a static public IP address, which you not usually have when you're on the home computer and your router. It's usually a dynamic unless you pay for a static IP. So if I do SSH and then I do this address, what I also need to specify, which is important, I need to specify my user. I think it's Kiko. I think this is like that.
Kiko?
Yeah, it's Kirill Kovalevsky. So I think this is all I need to do. Let's try. So the reason why it doesn't work, because by default SSH use port 22, and the port is every system has this ports, and ports is like any application can basically listen on a particular port. That's an abstraction layer to allow multiple application listen on the same system and say, oh, I listen on the port 22, and others say, oh, I'm listening on the port 443, and so on. So in this case, I changed the default port of SSH server in this machine to be something else. And it's a random number, so I don't remember. I'm going to look it up because I have a configuration stored for it in my SSH directory config. So I'm using cat command to see the content of this text configuration file inside my home SSH directory. So this is just a text file, and this is what inside this text file. I just have a different configuration for different SSH. This is not necessary. This is just purely for convenience. And so one of them is the quarter cat, and all I want to know is this port. So I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to remove all that stuff. So I'm going to do SSH again, and I'm going to specify port by specifying -p flag, and -p accept the parameter, which is the port. So this is a program that I call in the program accept a parameter, which is a port number, and that's the port number that I'm specifying. And the last thing it's expect the username, and then it's divided by this @character and the IP address, the machine I'm connected to. And here you go. Now I'm connected to that remote machine, and any command that I run now runs on that machine. This is no longer my machine. I'm operating on that remote host, how people usually call them. So I can do present working directory. You can see that the path is different. It's not like on my machine.
And you set up that machine on Ubuntu? Or like
Yeah. And one thing you might wonder is like, hey, how come like you just type this command and then you just got logged into this machine? There was no password, nothing, you know? You might wonder. Because usually you would type a password. So there's a second way to do SSH authentication is through what's called public and private key cryptography. It's basically in the modern world, there's the idea of public and private key cryptography, and this is how pretty much every encryption protocol works. It's basically a way for identify and authenticate yourself without exchanging the key prior in advance. Compare, for example, what's called the symmetric cryptography. Let's say I want to exchange a piece of text with you. So I need to share a key with you that I'm used for encrypt piece of text. But like if we never met before in private, how would I share that piece of key secure in the first place if our communication channel is non-encrypted? So other people designed the system where instead of doing that, what I would do, I generate a public and private key pair, and I only share the public key to you. And then you do the same, and you share only the public key to me. And then I have my message that I encrypt with my private key, and I send that, but you're able to verify because you have my private key. This is condensed version of that thing, but you're able to verify using my public key that the messages were sent from me. So this is the same idea. So if I go to my SSH folder, so I have those files in here, and one of these files is the key called ID or RSI. So I'm not gonna show you what's inside, but the other one, if I do cat ID RSI.pub, so this is just a very long string of characters that was generated. And I grabbed the string of character and I put it on my server. So the only person who can have the string of characters is like me. And then when I SSH server is like, oh, is it like, do I have this key? And I said yes. And so you can like pass through.
And that key is on your laptop here?
So actually right now I'm looking at this machine. Let me go back. So now I'm back on my laptop now. So here, if I do cd add.ssh. So this is on my laptop. I still have this. I do cat idrsa.pub. So this is my laptop actually. This is my public key. So what I would do, I would grab this key and I copy this whole thing basically like this. And so now I SSH to my machine using, let's say, password because it's not configured yet. So I go SSH there. Now I'm on this remote QuarterCat machine. I go cd dot, and it also has the same directory .ssh. And so in here I have another file which is named known hosts. And so if I open this file in the text editor, so I have to use command line text editor, which is Vim. So I open this file in the text editor, and what I can see here is that there's a bunch of keys that I already pre-populated. Wait, sorry, it's the wrong file. It's actually authorized keys. So in this file, authorized keys, so I have a bunch of keys. This is key for SNA that you can also connect. So if you would like to connect to my machine, you can give me your public key. I can add it to this file, and you should be able to also authenticate yourself into this machine. In fact, if we'd like, we can try it now. But I want to show you sort of more practical use case. Since you don't have a machine, I can show you how to spin up your machine. And in this case, I want to use a service that I discovered recently called vast.ai.
Vast.ai.
Yeah, and this is a pretty awesome service that allows you to spin up a beefy GPU machines with the consumer's version GPU, like 4090, like 5 of them. This is usually not possible because NVIDIA forbid using consumer-grade GPU in the data center. This company found like a hack somehow. I think they probably allowed people from home to host their GPU or something like that. I'm not quite sure how it works, but it's pretty great because the price is cheap. So I can get a machine with 3090 Ti GPU that has 24 gigabytes of RAM for 10 to 20 cents per hour, which it's very cheap price if you compare it to AWS, for example. So this is a vast.ai. Go here. And this shit is awesome because like if I need to run any machine learning stuff, usually it required installing a bunch of Python dependency and all kinds of crap, and your machine is full of like all this bullshit, and then now you have conflicting dependency often when you try to install a different library. This is not that great. So here the interface is also awesome for this service. Here's the list of different machines and their GPUs. Let's say maybe I can do, I didn't practice this yet. It's going to be pretty raw live demo, but I recently set up this library, Hanyan 3D V2.
It's HUN.
I hope it will find it. So obviously, this is a library for making 3D models of a single image that was recently released. I was kind of intrigued by the result that they were getting, and I want to try it on my personal machine because I couldn't also find like a demo online that worked consistently. So I tried first setting it up on Vincent machine with Windows installed, and after about 3 hours, I failed because I could not resolve an error that it was giving me. And I was like, fuck that, this is like really ridiculous. And the reason why it didn't work for me, because the people who create those papers, they usually Linux users. And they set it up all on Linux. So it's a lot easier to set up what they set up if you have an environment that they had. So in this case, when we spawning those instances, they have Linux installed in them. In fact, they will even have certain libraries installed. For example, in this case, I'm using the template. So there is a PyTorch template, and the PyTorch is the library for machine learning that those applications usually require. And what's cool that you also have all the NVIDIA drivers pre-configured and everything. So let's try to set it up. Let's see. I want to search by a GPU, so I want to find 3090. Let's see what I can get. On demand.
Are those templates like Terraform, or are they just?
So here, select templates. Actually, I need to log in. Okay. You know, I don't know what's the infrastructure is like, so I have no idea. I really use them as just like a dumb service. You can see I have PyTorch selected. But how do I search for a GPU? Well, let's do one GPU. Set planet Earth. Auto sort. We don't want that now. House GPU. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll and see what's available. 3090, 24 gigs of RAM, I see. 17 cents an hour. So provide 44 teraflops of compute. Now that's a deep learning index. 35 teraflops of compute. This is actually awesome because now I can start looking around at the different computers, different GPU configuration. I can use this teraflop index to see what's more powerful. What I found out that, for example, at Gene room, there is a Lambda computer with 4 GPU. I think it's A5000, which is a little bit dated. And so what I found out that two modern 4090 consumer grade with 24 gigs of RAM are faster than 4 A5000 GPUs that Gene has in his Lambda machine. And that's interesting. So you can start comparing this thing easily in here. So let's do this 3090, 24 gigs of RAM. And I know that this Haiyan 3D model requires 24 gigs of RAM. So this one I'm doing this. So I click rent and it's done. And this is amazing. So now I go to instances and it said machine creating. So we're gonna wait for like a second.
How does this price stack up to Amazon?
I think Amazon is at least 5 times more expensive.
Yeah, like I just run.
It doesn't allow you to run this GPU as well. 3090, there's no 3090. They're server grade version of GPUs, and they're more expensive and less performant.
I just run the numbers, and if you run it 24/7 for a month, it's like $120. That's not going to be the price for Amazon. 24/7.
Yeah.
But
you know, it's arguably pricey, but it's also like a dedicated machine.
But we're not gonna the way I use it, I don't run it 24/7. Let's say I have a job to render in Blender, or I want to like generate. So I basically, you'll see, I'll SSH into the machine. I run on the commands to install the tools I need, and then I basically type history in Bash. It shows me all the commands. I get these commands, I paste it to a ChatGPT or like any other LLM and say, hey, can you make me a Bash script? So it makes a Bash script out of them. So next time I open this machine, I can spin up with one click the whole provisioning and installation, and I have any like tool that I need running on it. So it's taken longer than usual. Let's refresh the page. Usually a little faster. And here, before, like, while it's loading, I'll show you, there's a place where you can copy your public SSH key. So if I go to my account, SSH key, and you can see that I put my public SSH key, the one that I showed you earlier, in here. So when machine provision, that their infrastructure will populate that .ssh authorized key file with that public key. So I can just log in into this machine or SSH with no password.
What's the first one?
My other machine, like
What's
Windows.
the other machine?
Yeah, this is my Windows machine.
So does each machine just have, how do you actually create those keys?
You just type one command, which is here. Man, this. Let me go back to my computer. SSH. So if I type SSH, hit tab, it shows me all the SSH stuff. One is the command called SSH keygen. All you need to type in your terminal to generate a key, you type SSH keygen, and it will generate a key.
A public SSH.
It will generate private and public key pair. The private you should keep safe and never show it to anybody, because the person who has a private key can access anything that you can access. But the public one you sharing with the machines that you would like to authenticate into.
So you would only use the private one.
Only use private, but public.
But when would you really use private then? I guess?
Well, the private needs to be in that directory, because when you're authenticating, it's going to sort of validate it against the private. If you don't have a private, you cannot access the machine with the public key. So, if, for example, you bought new computer and you don't want to lose access to your machine that you're running, you would have to copy your private key over. Is it clear?
Does everyone use public and private keys here, or do a lot of people who are doing this kind of work just use like standard usernames and passwords? Is that even?
As you saw, Seva is a pro user. He used username and password. It depends on the situation. I really like public-private because it leave me of burden of using password all the time, typing it. It's annoying for me. Yeah, and
it's automatically authenticated.
And let's say you have an SSH inside of a script that it's called an SSH and executing command on the remote host. It's going to ask you password every single time. When you have this set up, it's not gonna do that. It just works, which is awesome. Let's see if it's, oh god, I said live demo failed. Yeah, never happened. Okay, we're just gonna probably choose another one.
Yeah. Like you said, it's probably just renting from some people.
Exactly.
Playing Overwatch instead. Use it.
This one is slightly more expensive. I have $1.88, so it should be fine. 24 gigs. Okay, ran. Requesting instances. Let's kill that one somehow. Remove. Agree. Oh yeah, look, once it's connecting, open, that's done. So it's our server. So now I can go here. Where is how to connect? Which buttons? That's what the problem with interface, right?
What's going on?
He's hurting. He's hurting.
God damn it, where's the button?
It's supposed to be inside.
No, Jupiter we don't want.
Yo.
Yo.
Hi.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Alright, this is button. For some reason it said open terminal access. Sorry, it's not accepted,
I
Marzipan.
know, but look,
Yeah.
everybody's like getting
You are
emotional.
consistently late.
Everyone's getting emotional?
Yeah.
Even in here?
No, not you. I mean, I don't know, maybe.
No,
Probably
okay.
not.
Alright, we're in the middle of something. Hold on. So, press this button. This give me the command how to connect to this. We actually don't need the second part. They're just trying to be helpful. So, all I need, and okay, I copy this first part. Go and paste it. Okay, now someone explain to me word by word what it means, because we already went through this.
SSH to port 64556.
No, not you, you know already.
Oh, but I'm not sure I know.
Yeah, and you just came, you just observed.
Okay, I'll say it to myself.
Yeah, so the SSH is to connect to another computer. the P is port, but I think you said it can actually just be, it actually stands for something else that starts with a P, and in this case it's just going to be.
No, you're right, it's port.
It's just port.
Mm-hmm.
That's the port. That's just root access. Alright.
That's a username.
It's like the login.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's like the username.
Mhm.
You have the IP.
And this is?
Hmm.
And the last
The
thing?
IP
Of what?
of the machine.
Yeah. Great, let's try it.
And is it the machine or is it the network card that's it? Like, is it?
You don't know. It's called network interface.
Okay, so it's sort of both.
So it's just saying me like authentication course blah blah. You want to establish the key. Just want to answer yes to this, and it said have fun and check it out. I'm on this machine, and if I do H top, which is a NV top. How do I?
Nano. Try Nano. NV top. We don't have it installed.
It should be a.
Do you only have access to the commands that are on that computer?
Yeah. So NVIDIA SMI, I guess, will show us. Yeah. So if I run this command NVIDIA SMI, it show the GPU configuration, and surely you can see that here's the GPU that we care about, 350 watts of power, 54 Celsius, 24 gigabytes of VRAM. That's cool. So we can start doing stuff in here. So let me open my notes because I already done this before.
What distro is it? Can you do
How do you find out the distro?
your name?
Uname?
Dash something? Dash A, probably dash R, something. Yeah. Ubuntu.
Yeah. So this telling me what operating system is installed. Alejandro, help me with the command. So you type uname -a and they tell you like, oh, it's a Linux and it's Ubuntu. Does it tell me a version of Ubuntu? It doesn't.
SMP. No. Well, no, it's the kernel, the first thing.
So I'm trying to find my note right now for this. This is my note. It said installing guide, install Vasta app storage machine with RTX 3090 24 gigs. Okay. This is the command we need to run. I'm not going to explain. This is just a setup that required that I actually just find by Googling stuff. Some dependency that this thing will need. So we're gonna run this too. And because this machine is on the cloud, it has like a super fast internet access. Like if you're pulling like 20 gigs of data from internet, it's gonna do it blazingly fast because it's in the data center somewhere. Maybe this is in someone's home, I don't know, but usually it's fast. So the next thing we're gonna do, this is the actual Honeycomb stuff. So this one I'm gonna explain. Oh shit, what happened? Oh my god. So this command called git, and the git command is for version control, and what allows me to do also to basically pull repositories from GitHub. And you can see this is the URL that I'm pulling. So if I copy paste it to my browser, that's what I just showed you this early, this page. So this is the actual Honeycomb 3D v2 repository on the GitHub. So this URL was just copy pasted from there. And so I do git clone, and that is gonna clone that repository into this machine. So if I do ls, you can see it's there, ls. Hard to see because of colors. So there's a bunch of stuff inside, including the readme file, right, that you just saw on the website, the MD file. so we can CAD that file. So this is all the README documentation. You can scroll up here because it drops me inside tmux session by default, which is basically just like a different type of terminal program. Anyway, so let's go to my notes. So now we go, this is just following this instruction on the website. Pretty straightforward. So here they have an instruction. Let's see. Install requirements. So basically following this part. Where's my notes? So we're gonna cd into this directory. We're going to do pip install. Pip is the package manager for Python. Pip install and requirements txt. So this cd there. This repository has this file called requirements txt, and this is basically every library that this package require in Python world. So now this this Honeycomb 3D installing all its Python dependency. Is anybody overwhelmed? Right now it's cool.
Where did you find this computer from?
It's the website called vast.ai.
That
Vast V.
V and
Where is it?
and it's just some sucker, or like, but yeah, but so like this is like.
This is an awesome website. Give you access to machines on demand with GPU on them, beefy GPUs.
And just any of them
Which-
are available, or
which
you
one?
pay
Yeah.
for it?
No, you pay.
Which one did you rent?
I ran 3090 with 24 gigs of RAM. So now it's done. Let's go to the next command. So we did this. We're gonna do cd to this rasterizer folder. cd. So now we're gonna execute this command. It's all from the installation instruction. I'm not sure what this is doing. It's installing some other dependencies. While it's doing that, we're gonna copy this command. Okay, Colt, what's this command gonna do?
That's gonna go up of like 3 folders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Great. Glad we're on the same page. Yeah, we're close. Here, run demo, the last instruction. So
These are from instructions from the Git.
I'm doing it painful way now, but basically the better way would be I can just copy the script over or like copy paste the command and then boom, done.
But this is like when you're learning, it's not a bad idea to go line by line, so you can kind of learn like
Yeah.
what does this do? What does this do? What does this do? Don't just what did Gene call it? Like YOLO.
YOLO, yeah.
No. He
YOLO
says it's chaos coding.
Yes. So now I'm just going cd to this check differential render. Did I already do that? No, I did the custom rasterizer. And by the way, on your computer, if you still don't know how to press the command tab, you should do that. It's to switch in between windows, because I noticed some people didn't know how to do that. It's really painful to watch.
And your life will change when you start doing it. It's true.
I take things for granted like this, but I often see people don't do that. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but they must struggle a lot with their computer.
Yeah,
Because like it makes me struggle less.
suck less. It's a good blog post.
What?
There's a blog I like called Suck Less.
It's a book by a drag queen.
Did I?
Philosophy of development.
Okay, I keep losing track. What did I execute? I did Python install. Now I do cd 3 directory up back in this directory, and I think we're ready to go. So this is the actually running the demo.
For Honeycomb?
Yeah. So I'm gonna show you first. So let's just run it. See what happens if it runs. So this this is from the repo. We're inside the repo, and there's a file called minimum demo .py, and that's actually going to run the Hanyan on the image that they have in this directory and produce a model. I'll show you the image in a second. Actually, while it's running, I'll show you on the repo itself. So here, if you look at this minimal demo.py, right, this is what we're running. Let me make it a little bigger. So this is just this is a Python file. So it's like import a bunch of stuff from this Hanyan library, and then it's a image to 3D. And so the image path here is at assets demo.png, and then this is all we care about, right? So the image is there, and then we're like, okay, the mesh export, and it's going to export generated mesh to mesh.glb. That's in current directory of that script. So we go back now, check that image assets, demo.png. So that's the image it's gonna use. So, and well, okay, now what it's doing since we first time run it, it's going to download all the PyTorch and model that this thing require. And that's, you can see the size here, so they're quite big. But this should go pretty fast because it's in the data center, I hope.
This screen you got to just after you ran the Python script?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in Python world, like it or not, in machine learning world, often you have a script, just a program that will require a certain model, but automatically they have all these procedures there to download this model from websites like Hugging Face or some other repositories. And I think it's a little bit not kosher to do that in the program. Usually, like, you have a program installed and then you have your dependency either like somehow alongside, or you have a separate utility to pull your dependency. But when I'm running a program, I expect it to run, and I don't expect to download gigabytes of data from the internet.
Yeah.
So I find it kind of a little bit jarring that in Python world, in machine learning community, people do that, but this is how it is.
But I guess they want like a module that they can just share with other people and it works.
Yeah, yeah.
But like in reality, if you were doing a lot of stuff with this,
In reality, it's really sucks to have
you
that.
would download all this locally, and then you would have a smaller script that you run. That
Yeah,
just runs
exactly.
the same.
Because it's just text file,
But
right?
like because you're SSHing into this CPU on the cloud, like you're gonna have to do this every time, unless you.
I got to do it every time if I shut down the machine, which I would because it cost me money.
Yeah.
And I would have a bash script, and if I would need to, let's say I'm working on the project, and every day I wake up and I have to generate a bunch of models. So what I would do, I would just every morning I would run the bash script on the machine, and then start pumping the models out. When they're done at the end of the day, like 6 p.m., work day over, I shut down the machine, go to sleep. That's how I would do it personally.
Okay.
You don't have to do it this way.
So like you'd have a bash script that would run all this, and
Just
then,
like make breakfast.
and you step away for a bit, but then for the rest of the day you're good.
Yeah.
But can you image this after the whole setup? Don't they have an option to make an image out of it and then just upload the image?
You maybe you can, but then you will pay for the storage of that image too. And you can pause the machine, and I think they won't shut it. It will still there, but you'll be paying for the storage of the hard disk space that you're using. Because right now we install all the stuff, we're using the disk space, right? And I think they give you 25 gigabytes by default.
You're already over.
One caveat with this vast AI, what they do is that when you rent this machine, there are different tiers of machines, and the one that the cheapest, like the one that dirt cheap, they don't provide you the guarantee that the machine going to be available next day, or like at any moment after you pause it, because the machine like get acquired on demand. And like, let's say I am like done this job and I paused the machine, I didn't remove it, but the machine, the resource that it's using, the GPU, can get taken. And now I'm trying to spin it back on, and it will say, I was like, oh, somebody else is using it. And there's unknown how long you're gonna use it. So you kind of screwed a little bit this way. This is just this how this particular thing works. But there are machines that are, I don't remember what they call them. Like they guarantee the availability of those machines. If you spin the instance and then you pause it, you should be able to spin it back on.
And that matters at some point in the code that you're about to run. It's gonna have like a, I don't know how GPUs work. Like, is there like an address for GPUs or something like that you have to specify it, or it's
No, they just give you a machine with a GPU. I
yeah,
think
but like if they switch the GPU out on you, does that cause problems?
they won't switch it while you're running it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then if they switch it after you pause, does your code have to change?
No. It doesn't.
No
Because it's
space
GPU agnostic. So I guess the demo failed actually,
There's
guys.
no space left.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you run out of space for some reason.
On your GPU, you got it?
No, that's disk space.
With this space in it?
Maybe I thought they all have the same amount of disk space, but apparently not.
Which one is the?
Let's see.
Yeah, 32 gigs.
Where?
There, it's red.
No, it said all used.
Yeah, it's just 32 gigs.
I think I run it on 24 gigabytes. So
No,
apparently we need more
That's
than
for
this.
storage, but you were mentioning VRAM. No?
Yeah,
my
but apparently I need more than 32 gigabytes of storage on disk, which sucks.
Yeah,
All right.
because I think when you were saying gigs, I think it was VRAM,
Uh-huh.
if I'm not mistaken. As in the GPU RAM.
All right. We're not gonna try it. Another one. I just want to show you a few more things, just kind of to complete the loop of, let's say, it did run, and so it did produce the 3D model from that image in the asset directory. How do you actually get that image, or how do you get anything in or out of this machine? Because that's kind of like important thing. So let's see. So if I do present working directory, I'm here right now. So I do cd assets, do ls. So the image is here. Let's say I want to grab this image, like I don't know what it is, let's say. So let me open the second tab. This is my machine, Moon, screen, laptop. So, and I want to copy this image inside. Let me cd into just home directory, it's fine. Here, I'm in the home directory. So what I do, there's a utility called scp. Remember the cp command? It's like copy, but scp is for remote copy, secure copy, similar to SSH. So, and I do scp, I paste, so I have a clipboard history here. That SSH command that we use to SSH. So I keep the port, I think it's the same. Or maybe not, we might need to look it up. And so I do colon. I go here, I need this path, right? So where we looked at, where is the path? Like root.hania. So I paste it here. This is the path on the remote machine, and then I do asset, demo, png, and where to copy, I copy it just to this directory, which I'm currently in. So it doesn't like this p flag. I need to look it up. Maybe I have in my notes. Let's see. Yeah, it's capital P, scp capital P. By the way, I move faster between words on the terminal. I hold on Mac Option key, and I can move one word at a time. Also, very useful a shortcut that comes from Emacs world actually, because Emacs is so old. Is if you press Control A, that goes to the beginning of the line, and Control E goes to the end of the line. Because often you want to jump at the beginning, which is really handy. Control A and Control E. So that should work. Let's try. It logged in, copy the image, boom, done. So now if I do open, just open this directory in Finder. And I can see the images here on my machine. And that's super cool. It's like, it's very simple, but it allows you for like exchanging assets between remote machine of any kind. Like for this, you usually need some sort of application you need to install. This is all complicated, and this is kind of awesome. But so
it's with that command, scpp.
so the P was just specifying the port because it's using non-standard port for SSH. And this is the same address that we use for SSHing into this machine. It's the address of the remote machine and the user. And then the only different piece of syntax, we have this colon separating this whole business. And after colon, you specify the path on the remote machine to the file you want to copy. And then the second argument, you specify where you want to copy. Let's say I want to copy on a machine into like users, skiff, downloads. So if that makes more sense. So the last argument to this command is the path where you're copying it to on your machine. But so now that we know that, we can reverse the idea of copying. Let's say I want to copy from my machine to the remote machine. So, and in this case, I just switch this to path. So I'm saying from my machine, let's see, what do we want to copy? Let's see what I have. Downloads. I have this thing I made for Igor called shape test 01. It's 15 megabytes. So let's just copy this one. Users, give, downloads, shape, test 01. So all I have to do this, that part stays the same. Well, except I want to change where I copy it to, PNG. So if I don't specify anything, if I just do a colon, this is going to end up in the home directory. So let's try it. So SSH, now it's copying this because the file is bigger, so it took a little longer, but still pretty fast. So now if I jump on my first tab where I SSH into this machine and I go to my home directory and do ls here, sure enough, the file is here. I can check its size with du.sh for human readable output. Du is the utility that shows you file size. So, excuse me?
What is that?
It's smaller than it's supposed to be.
By a lot.
Excuse me.
If they copy all the.
Is it still copying?
Because it has like no space on the computer.
Ah, you're right, because it ran out of space.
Just clear space. There.
That's great. Yeah, so, okay, let's clear the space, just to make sure that we're not going insane. Because, and this is actually, if you didn't think about it, you'll be like 3 hours later pulling your hair. Oh my God, what's going on? Yeah.
10 times, it's always 3.6.
Because it's always leading to this kind of unexpected behavior. So we do rm.rf, very dangerous command, be careful. Because it removes directory in all subdirectory recursively. So we're going to just nuke that Hanyan 3D folder. Yeah. Great catch. So that was pretty fast. So I assume right now, let's remove this file shape test. So I go back to this other tab, just repeat the command. Oh, hold on. That's the wrong command here, this command. Copy it now to just make sure I'm not going crazy. We do du again on this thing. Yeah, here it is, 15 megabytes. But this is would be the idea. So what I did with this script, when actually I didn't run out of space and you can run this little utility Hanyan, I would grab my image, I copy it to the machine, I would name it demo PNG, and I replace that image that I don't have to change the script. So I copy this image into this folder with the demo PNG, then I run the script, it output this mesh.glb, then it copied this mesh.glb back to my computer and I get the 3D model back. So, and that process can be automated. So with a little bit of bash scripting, you can have a full directory full of images, and this images will automatically, because it's all just text and commands, they'll be like, copy this image, then copy it back, copy this image, run the thing, copy back, copy the image, run the thing, copy back. So you can easily automate that, and you can batch the whole directory of images and like just keep generating these models like, you know, non-stop with just 3 lines of script that you already know and hopefully understand. And you don't have to even think about like for loops, because you can just copy paste those lines in the text file and then just run the text file and then just go line by line to this file. It's very simple. So this is all I want to show for today, and for the rest of the time, let me shut down the instance before I forgot. So when I'm done with this, so I go to my instances and just destroy it. Agree, and it's done. So we just spin out like a very powerful machine with a very powerful GPU. We paid 20 cents for it. We hopefully generated a bunch of 3D models. And we spin it off, and then that's all through the terminal, which is pretty fascinating, I think. So for the rest of this session, what I would like to do is for us to practice a little bit more terminal, but through basically a game. And that's the game what hackers usually like to play on, if you go to any conferences, like DEF CON, and the game called Capture the Flag. And it usually consists of a set of challenges that you need to do on the computer. Usually break into the system or solve a little puzzle or do some sort of activity where the goal of this activity is to retrieve the key that someone hid it in there, one way or another. And so the service that I like for this, and we're gonna use a remote machine for that. So you would actually physically will SSH into a remote machine, and you do activity on that machine to retrieve the flag. And it starts very, very, very basic. So I hope that anybody will be able to follow, because it's super basic, at least through first 5 assignments. So it's called Over the Wire Bandit Challenge. So if you go to this website, Over the Wire Bandit level 1. So I'm not gonna explain anything from here. I think the instruction is pretty clear. If you want to participate, start following through this, and if you get stuck, just call me to your spot, and I'm gonna help you.
Are we all doing this together?
Yeah.
Or, but like
Individually.
But like, is somebody gonna get the flag first?
Yeah. Whoever gets the flag first, please let us know. Let's keep it
But it's
fun.
all the same machine that we're all trying to get it from?
The way they use it, basically, is it the same?
I don't think so.
I think it's the same.
But maybe they have some. Well, it's the same machine,
But
it's
it's
not,
like renewing. It's a virtual machine.
But
Yeah.
if you take a flag, it's not preventing anybody else from taking it. I think. No?
So
I've played ones that are like that. Like if I take a flag, you cannot take it. So in the end, the one that
that's
wins.
capture the flag.
okay, Masterplan, we're gonna find out if it's the same machine or not once you start doing it.
Yeah.
Because then you can create a file called it poop, and then it's like, hey, I created poop file. Can you find it?
Yeah. My point is that when I played those, it's like it's the more flags that you collect, then you win. But it's people can just go out of order. But those were for cybersecurity stuff, so not exactly.